What's going on? We back, Motor City Sports Talk. We in the building. Y'all know what it is. Your boy CJ Goodfellow. We're reacting to Dwayne Casey being introduced as the Detroit Pistons head coach. I was on the road a little bit earlier, so I missed the press conference. I went back and rewatched it. I put the Facebook link where I watched it at XYZ Channel 7, I think. Yeah, that's what it is, man. Only place I could find it. You know, everybody else had bits and clips and pieces, but probably going to be a two-part video. I'm going to react to Dwayne Casey. Then also Tom Gores and Ed Stefanowski, basically Tom Gores though. But I was impressed, man. Dwayne Casey is an impressive head coach. And when I said I didn't like to hire Dwayne Casey, it had nothing to do with the coach. In my opinion, I think this team isn't a win now team. You know, I just think, you know, just the way the East going, you know, if LeBron leaves, you got Philly, Boston, Toronto, Wizards. A lot of good teams. So my philosophy is I'm tired of just trying to build on the go. You know, building away with Ben Gordon, somebody else, and Josh Smith. Then all these rebuilds while you go, bringing in Blake Griffin, Tobias Harris, Avery Bradley. You know, rebuilding while you go. The Morris twin. Just keep rebuilding. It's not working. You know, in the NBA, you know, you can keep doing that until you get the right combination, which it don't really happen that often that you do with Ben Wallace and Chauncey and Rip, and you get that mesh together. It don't happen that way. You know, not a lot. Your best chance when you're in a place like Detroit is to tear it down and then pick high in the draft, and hopefully you get it right. And then attract free agents after a couple, you know, high lottery picks, something like what the Thunder did. But, you know, but it is what it is, man. And I think for what they're trying to do, which I don't think is the right thing, but what they're trying to do, Dwayne Casey is the perfect fit. You know, I heard him talk about player development and what was the key term we used about this coaching search and what the Pistons need to do after the season ended. It was develop talent. That was my key word more than anything. Develop. Play the young guys. And he said something very, very interesting. He said that you have to trust them. And he said fans will say, well, why is Henry Ellison, I'm just saying, for example, playing so much, he making all these mistakes. He says eventually when you keep empowering these guys with confidence, you keep letting them play and not benching them, basically, I'm paraphrasing, for every single mistake they make, at some point it's going to click, and he's right. You know, it clicked with Siakam, like he said in the press conference. It clicked with OG Abaye. Also, Jakopardo, it clicked with him. It clicked with DeRozan. He transferred Kyle Lowry. He was similar to Chauncey. Nobody wanted Kyle Lowry. He couldn't do nothing right. He developed them. And I think this is the perfect guy for the job for what they trying to do. And we're not just talking about the the three players he want to develop as far as, you know, Griffin and Drummond and Reggie Jackson, that camaraderie. He talking about Henry Ellison, talking about Stanley. You know, he talking about the young dogs. You know, Luke Kennard. He wants to develop them because, like I told you guys, as far as Stanley and Luke Kennard go, is as far as this team really can go. You know, if they development happen, that's how far this team go. And also Reggie Jackson, who we talked about earlier. But Dwayne Casey's a very, very intelligent brother, man, and he's the right fit. They actually got a square peg and a square hole this time. You could tell, you know, he gets it. He gets it that you got to go in here and develop talent. He's not like Larry Brown, Rick Carlisle, and Maurice Cheeks and Stanley and Stan Van Gundy, which we're going to talk about in a minute. He knows how to develop talent. He knows how to speak to people. And what Tom Gores alluded to at the press conference today is that Stan Van Gundy, he didn't listen to the players. It was his way or the highway, that old school junk. And this new generation don't do well with that. And Tom Gores said he kind of talked to the players and see what type of kind of coaches the player wanted. You know, I'm not with that, you know, but at the end of the day, I understand he's an owner's coach. He's trying to be like the Jerry Jones of the Detroit basketball. So, you know, I'm not really bothered by that him and Ed Stefanowski reached out to the players and see what they was comfortable with. And he said Dwayne Casey checked all the boxes off, you know. So I'm not really mad about that because he spoke well. His press conference, it was similar to what Jim Caldwell brought to the table. And I really believed him, you know, what he was saying, because he done did it before. You know, he handled all the questions well, and you know how terrible these Detroit media members are. These are the worst media members, you know, that I have ever witnessed. And I've been watching basketball, football, golf for a long time. I done seen terrible questions. You know, they all like Rob Parker, man. No offense to Rob Parker, but they all terrible, negative, nothing positive to say. Even when it doesn't involve an organization like the Detroit Lions, who hasn't won a Super Bowl. These are teams like the Red Wings and Tigers You know, the Pistons that have won, you know, before, you know, after, you know, since the Force took over. You know, the Lions, they have won. And at a certain level, this team won a championship since the 2000s. Show them some type of respect. I know Tom Gores, he ain't the lovable owner that you want to have, but at the end of the day, they trying to press him. Like at the press conference, yeah, he said some stupid stuff. You could tell that he ain't comfortable as his role as an owner. Okay, I'll get to that in a second. But Dwayne Casey is the guy that you want for this situation. He talked about how they wanted to play. He said he wanted to be more modern. He not gonna try to fit the old school way of playing through the post, which I don't like. I think with Drummond, you need him to play through the post. He said they're gonna shoot more threes. They're gonna take better shots. They're gonna play a more modern type of style. And that's the one thing I didn't like. That's not necessarily true. I mean, if you're gonna play a more modern style, I heard trade rumors, Drummond for Kevin Love to Cleveland. That's more of a modern style with Kevin Love. I'm not saying trade Drummond, but you don't want Drummond out there practicing threes. Now I see why, because they want to jack more threes. No, get that brother on the block. You need to play in and out. You can shoot more threes that way. You could do what Dwight and the Orlando Magic did and Stan Van Gundy did in 2009. And also they want to shoot more threes. That's what I didn't like about it. You gotta get the personnel out there. I know Henry Ellison can stretch the floor, Luke Kennard can shoot. But you don't want Blake Griffin out there chucking up threes. You don't want Drummond out there chucking up threes. You want them attacking the paint. You know what I'm saying? You want them to be aggressive. You want them to play high and low. You know, you don't have the shooters. Reggie Bullock can shoot. But other than Bullock, Luke Kennard, Henry Ellison, and possibly Reggie Jackson when he on, you don't have the shooting to really play that way. But I think he knows that, and they'll make some moves, and you know, some guys will improve their 3-point shooting. But honestly, you know, he needs to find a playing style that's for them, and that's not jacking up a whole bunch of threes. He don't have that personnel. That's the one thing I didn't like. But you know, he'll figure it out. You know, You know, how they want to play. They're gonna play faster, and he got to find a half court style, because in the playoffs, you know, it's all about half court basketball. But he had a phenomenal press introduction. You know, these media members try to, you know, sneak diss him and ask some of these stupid questions, but he answers them. He held his own like a G, and he's what Detroit need. Exactly. Them old school coaches like Van Gundy, Larry Brown, Rick Hart, they didn't want to develop young talent. And one young talent sitting on the bench for 2-3 years, and you ain't gave him an opportunity. And at the end of the day, you're not winning and you're not playing for them. So what is the point of letting the Middleton sit on the bench, letting the Dearwilly sit on the bench, letting the Flalo sit on the bench, letting all these different guys sit on the bench, and they go elsewhere and they develop and they actually can play? So Dwayne Casey seems like he wants to let these guys play and develop, and he seems that he got a lot of love for Stanley Johnson, and it seems like that's the guy that he wants to develop. That's the guy that he knows that's going to be the key to this team taking off. And I told y'all guys that him and Luke Kennard, Stanley Johnson, Luke Kennard to be exact, those are how the Pistons going to take off. He says that, you know, Stanley is one of the few guys that can match up with LeBron. He's absolutely right. Stanley is a beast physically, and he got to get him offensively on point. He got to tap into that untapped offensive potential and get him to play more aggressive on the defensive end all the time. That's the guy. I know he lost his mother, and he probably going through some things, but Dwayne Casey could be a shoulder to lean on and really be tough on Stanley and bring out the potential. The Pistons is going to win. Because matchup-wise, they got the talent. You know, they don't have the depth, but they got the top-end talent. They can get rid of Reggie and swing a Schroeder over here or something like that, yeah. But, you know, he had an excellent press conference, but they was pressing Tom Gores, man. You know, pressing them about, you know, always being in L.A. and all the players practicing in L.A. and all of this and why they not practicing in the community. You got to remember, nobody want to be in Detroit right now in the summertime or in the wintertime when it's still cold in the spring and the winter. A lot of these cats go to L.A. because that's the hot hub. That's where players really want to play at. Players really want to play in L.A., Miami. That's where they want to play at. That's where they want to play at. So he can't control that. So they got all the players out in L.A. practicing and working, and they building a new practice facility. I guess it's going to be here. Don't quote me on that. But I think they're building a new practice facility, and they're asking about equity and all this other stuff and buying and selling and building stuff up and selling, because that's what he do. He builds companies up, and then he gets them off, and they believe he wants to get the Pistons to a point to build them up and potentially sell them, which wouldn't be a bad idea. But the big thing about it was in the video when he said, Ed Stefanowski could be anything, a GM. We really don't give him a role. He's just a senior advisor. Basically, this dude's going to be the GM. I heard they trying to offer Malik Rose, the old San Antonio Spur, and I think Laker, a role in the front office. They trying to get young guys, but it seemed like they missed on Shane Battier. It seemed like they missed on Tayshaun Prince. It seemed like they missed on Billups, missed on older guys like Kiki Vandeweghe and Tajan Langdon. So they hiring guys to fill the front office role to learn under Ed Stefanowski. Stefanowski is going to be the GM. He going to be the president. He going to be over everything. You know what I'm saying? He basically like Stan Van Gundy without the head coaching. And, you know, he said he talked to the players about the coaching fit as well. He's the ones that's calling the shots. You know, that's your GM. That's your president. That's the guy that's calling the shots. It was confirmed today. That's him. So, you know, he got an idea what they want to do. But for them kept mentioning Reggie Jackson in this video as this guy's going to turn it around. I don't believe it. Reggie Jackson is the last guy that's going to develop in this. And they made an emphasis about health. Oh, we got to be healthy. Well, you got Reggie Jackson and Blake Griffin, two guys who ain't never been healthy consistently in this league for real, other than when Reggie was a backup. So you got to remember that as well, too. So that's why it's vital to develop Luke Kennard and Stanley Johnson as well, Henry Ellison, you know, because they're going to be healthy and they young and they got those young limber legs and stuff of that nature. But press conference was pretty good. So it was lit, you know. A lot of questions, you know, the media always got to frown upon whatever Detroit doing. We can never just, as a media, just support and be positive about it. And then when it is a positive thing, they still got to go back to being negative. And that's what I don't like. I'm going to remain positive about the situation. People got mad at my video because I said I didn't like the fit because of what my philosophy was. If people listen. But what they trying to do and develop these talent, Dwayne Casey is definitely the guy for the job, man. He definitely knows how to develop players, and that's the Pistons' biggest problem over the last 10 years since they won the championship before. 14 years. Is that under all them coaches, they never developed young talent. It was always a veteran rotation. They never prepared for life after the starting point guard, Chauncey, Rip, and Tayshaun and all them. They never prepared for life after that. They never, you know, instilled confidence in players. Darko Milicic, he died on the bench, knowing the number 2 overall pick. They never let him consistently play in good minutes. And it's all about psyche, like he said. It's all about mental, instilling them with confidence. And Dwayne Casey is definitely the guy for the job. It's Motor City Sports Talk, man. Don't forget we on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So go make sure y'all go hit them links. They're in the description. And I'm going to link this press conference to the description as well, too. I definitely appreciate all of you guys for getting us over 1,000. We're going to keep pushing out content. We're going to keep doing it. We're going to cover the draft tomorrow. And I'd most definitely appreciate it so much, man. I got some good news coming, and we most definitely going to try to take this new media. This the new media. This the new Detroit media. You know, we're going to try to take it by storm, get these teams the proper coverage they deserve, man, because all that negative old media, we coming in with the new Motor City Sports Talk. We sign